welcome to another amazing day at fmtraining.tv, where we talk about the fantastic and wonderful FileMaker platform. My name is Margaret. I am here with the wonderful Nick Hunter, here to discuss UI UX design today for beginners specifically, which is going to be really quite cool. We had our first day yesterday. We're on day 2 now. Real quick, a reminder to all the people watching out here. We stream on 4 platforms, technically. 4 platforms. We stream on Discord, we stream on YouTube, and we stream on Twitch and Zoom. If you would like a Zoom link, YouTube and Twitch are on 90-second delays, so it'll take us about 90 seconds to get to your questions, or like for you to hear your questions being answered. Discord is live, Zoom is live. If you'd like to go to either of the live locations, let me know and I can give you all a link. Let's talk about our schedule for the week. So today we are doing the day 2 beginning for UI UX design for beginner developers. Tomorrow will be day 3 of that, and like this little part of the series will be completed. Friday is going to be FileMaker performance tuning with Hansa, which will be really quite interesting. Monday will be a recap of the Claris platform bundle for people who are confused. And then Tuesday will be part 2 of this kind of like 4-section bit on UI UX design for beginning and intermediate developers. Tuesday and Wednesday will be the beginning of the intermediate section, which will be quite interesting. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to buy our FM Training annual subscription bundle. It is 100+ hours of high-energy video content. If you've ever seen Richard present or Nick present, both very entertaining presenters. Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello. So thank you, Mart, for the very nice presentation, and thank you, everybody, for joining today. So today we're doing the day 2 of the UI UX for beginner. Okay. So yesterday we start looking about, we talk about some history, we talk about some guidelines, rules that we have in the design community, right? So it's like exactly like you have the FileMaker community, you have a design community, you have UI UX design community, but it's a community with a different chapel. Okay, so I like to talk that I like to have to name that a chapel, because it's mostly based on faith and taste and beliefs, right? So so you have of course you have the Apple chapel, right? Which is it's a big one in the design community, because Apple always be the kick butt kind of design, leading design for many things, right? They had, in particular, Johnny Ive, who was a designer, a crazy designer, very talented guy, and influenced the community. But the design is a community that one chapel will influence the other one, and the other one will influence the other one, and so it's pretty much, you have a kind of a cycle like this. And but sometimes you have one tendency, right? You have one tendency that emerge, and if you have adoption of this, you have a widespread, right? So, but design, when you talk about UI UX design, and I want to talk about that today because it's very important for beginners to understand that. The design is not just a set of rules to piss you off. It's not just this. There's a reason behind. There's always a reason behind. And today we have almost 40 years of experience. 40 years of experience on UI UX, right? So 40 years is a lot of time. It's half a century, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot of return and experience, learning, right? So the rules we have today, they are pretty much marble. They are. We can write them in marble because they won't change, because we know they will evolve, but they won't change, right? So especially what we are going to talk today, okay? We are going to talk about spacing of objects, placing objects, organizing object in the layout, right? So things need to be things need to be learned, right? And there's a reason why. And especially when you start learning, it's important that you don't take the bad habits right now. I don't want you to have the bad habit to do something. So because most of the people, they have the bad habit. They say, "Oh, I always did that." Okay, so you always be wrong, but it's okay. You can keep going being wrong, but the best is not learning of being wrong. So it's what I'll try to do today. I try to do that. So, of course, having a bad design is not the end of the world. It's the end of your peace of mind, by the way. Why? Because a bad design will lead you to bad decision, using the wrong and inappropriate FileMaker technique that will lead to lack of performance, difficulty to understand, and impossibility to modify or enhance your layouts, right? So it has pretty bad, consequences. Choosing the wrong design and the wrong UI and the wrong UX, right? That's a really bad decision. So let me start sharing my screen. So we are going to learn about, positioning object in space. So we'll say, okay, that's easy. I can just put objects. So let's put objects like fields. So let's put fields there. So that's okay. I can do this if I want. We can do this. We can do this and something like this, and okay. We can position like this, and we can do something like this, right? So we can do some stuff like that. We can, okay. Just I don't have time to reorganize all of this, and I want to do that, right? Okay. So this is my fields, right? And I want to do multiple. I have many fields, so I want to do this and this and this and this and this. So let's do this, and let's do something bad like this. Okay. So that's my design. I don't want anything and stuff like this. That's my stuff. This is how my layout will look like. And and I can, just, yeah, and I will tell you that, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Okay, no problem. I'm going to put a square here, and I'm going to put that like this, right? Put on back. And voila, you have your design, you have your stuff. I put this color, and I put this here, and I'm going to have a blue one here, right? Put on the back. So let's say you have something like this. Don't tell me, oh, that's impossible. Oof. It's much more possible than you can imagine. I saw that many times. Something like this, right? So that's what we have, right? So we have something like this, right? And we can say, okay, oh yeah, but I don't know what the blue one is. Okay, so we have like this, and we say the blue equal contacts. I saw that. Don't tell me it's not. Green equal accounts, and red. So you have a legend equal project. So you have a legend that tells you things, and people say, oh, okay, I can enhance this. I will help you understand, right? So to enhance this, I can do this, right? Just to help you. Okay, so I have my design, I have my UI, I have everything cool. So this is my UI, my design. I don't care about positioning stuff. All what I want is that to work. Okay, I can edit my stuff, is good. Okay. So of course you understand that this is a little bit dramatic, right? But you understand that visually we have a problem. Okay. So why we have a problem is because since the beginning of time, before Gutenberg, okay, it's a book before Gutenberg. It's in an ancient Greek book. Okay. So what do we see here? It's a book from the 2nd century, something like this. It's at the Metropolitan. It's at the Met. It's at the Metropolitan Museum. Okay. So what do we see here? So it's not new. Okay, it's not a new book. Okay. So what do we see here? Going to help you. What we see here, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what we see. So if you go to your mailbox and you will have a 200 billion documentation, publicity, advertising, and what you will see columns, right? So you take a newspaper, take a newspaper, and you will see columns, right? This is a newspaper, right? So what do we see? Columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? A typical newspaper is 5 columns, okay? But can be, this is not a new newspaper, it's old, column. Okay, so column with separation. So you have stuff like this. You have a column, right? And you have paragraph, and you have separation with titles. Okay, so this is not new. It's not a new design. It has been there, from like this, since we was I don't even know. So it's not. It's since Johnson president, right? So it's not new. Something that always been there. And Gutenberg, the inventor of the printing, was doing this. But what I want to demonstrate here is that we always use columns to present things, to read and to expose text. I'm talking about text. We always use column. So now, that being said, you need to learn about one word, one only. And if the boss were there, he would be laughing and making fun at me. The word that you need to learn is verticality. Everything has and needs to be vertical. It has to be like this. It needs to be vertical. The verticality, it's what convey comfort. It's comfortable to see verticality. And I'm going to show you, right? So let's say I want to fix this, First of all, the coloring, it's awful. We call that, let's put that, we call that the Christmas tree. Why we call that? Because it's we have so many colors that we don't even know what that means. There's no meaning on the color, on the colors. So people say, okay, I don't know what blue is, I don't know what green is, I don't know what, okay, I put you a legend. Can you imagine the complexity on the brain of your user that he has to read a legend to understand what he's doing, right? So the best is to forget about that for now. And I'm going to duplicate that layout and I'm going to fix it. So first of all, we will talk about the coloring later. So let's fix this, okay? So I told you that we need to use columns and verticality. So let's do that. Okay, let's do that. So what I like to do in FileMaker, right? I like to group things, you know. So you have, group and group. So Command or Control R or ungroup, Shift Command R or Shift Control R. Okay, so you can group things like this. They are easier to manipulate in the future. So you group them. So see, it's easier to manipulate because if I do this without grouping, good luck. You understand? If I ungroup this, how so it's good luck with this. So you can easily, move things and fix things for the future. So first, when you learn to place object in the layout, you need to give comfort of reading. This is not comfortable on reading at all. And when you click here, the field expands on top of the other one. So it's barely impossible to go to the next one, right? You don't know, what is what. It's very cumbersome. It's not comfortable. It doesn't look great. Something's wrong because it's completely attached to the border. And the edge of you need to give a blank edge here, right? You cannot do this. It's not comfortable for the human brain. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's not. So we give, like a margin. Always in the past, they were doing this, right? Why they didn't print there, right? Why small like this? Because it was more comfortable to read like this, right? So let's apply the same rule. It's a rule. Sometimes you have to believe the rule without, that's why I said chapel, right? It's a believing. If you believe that this is good for you, but it's not. This is not good. So let me show you how we fixed something like this in FileMaker in no time. You select all the labels, right? And you tear off this to make them all, right? You tear off like this. Since they were like this, now they're like this. But you can see they're not aligned very, they're not same, So what you do, you fix one, so that's the minimum. You select all, and you say, resize to the minimum 8, this one. Resize with the minimum, with the object with the minimum 8. So we're sure that at least this one is the minimum. So you do this, boom. So now you see we have the same 8 on all of them. So now what we do, they are all aligned on the right side, on the right border, right? So the text is in the box is aligned to the right. So I'm going to align the box to the right. And now you can see that instantly, it feels more comfortable. Instantly, it feels more comfortable. So what can I do now? I want to fix this. Doesn't feel comfortable at all. So I want to fix this. I'm selecting this. First of all, I'm fixing 1, right? So this is a minimum 8. And I can see that all of them are on the same 8, 21, all of them, because you see the guide. But let's assume they are not all on the same 8. Okay? Let's assume. So I fix the first one. I make it larger, right? And now I want to fix all of them. So I select all of them. First of all, I fix the 8 by fixing with the minimum 8, because I said this is the one I want. So you fix this, right? And now you need to fix two things. Let's assume that they are not aligned like this, Let's assume this, okay? So what we do, you select all of them like this by embracing, when you touch it, right? Then you align to the right, because you see that all the text is aligned to the left, right? So you select all, and here, align. You click here, you align the box, the fields to the left. And now you said, but I want all of them to be the same as this width. So now they're all aligned to the left. And now I said here, size to the largest width. So boom. Right? So now you see something is missing. Something not right. It's not quite right. I need to fix the 8 because they're not, sometimes they are overlapping and stuff like that. So what you do, first, you say, I want this one there, right? I want this one there. I want to select all of them. And then I will distribute vertically. I'm distributing vertically. Boom. And you see, no, it's not enough. So let me show you something now. If I press Shift, and I move this one, and I move to the bottom, I cannot move right and, you see, it doesn't move right and left. It moves only right, up and down. It cannot go right and left because I press Shift and I immediately pressed and made a gesture up and down. Boom. See, I press palm. So again, Shift key pressed. I click bump. I click bump. I click bump. So if I press Shift, I click and I go down, it won't go. See my mouse? I cannot go right and left. But if I do the opposite, I want to go right and left. So I press Shift and I do right and left. Now I do right and left, but I cannot go up and down. Right? Understand? It's cool? It's cool. Yeah, I know it's cool. No, it's very cool because it's working with block of objects, right? Shifts, only vertical. I cannot go right and left, right? So now I'm using Shift and I'm going down, and now I want to redistribute a little bit more, and boom. And I say it's not enough. Visually, it's not enough. How you learn this? Because it's not great. Visually, it's not great. You need at least, so that's a rule, a third of the 8th of this between two fields to feel comfortable. So I know visually I need a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay. Now I have something visually great. The difference between here is a third of this. Okay. So now I have my fields fixed, but something wrong. They're very, very tied to this, right? So I want to select all, press my Shift key, and move to the right, like this. So now I want to fix those. So let's assume they are all completely, uneven like this. So how you can fix this? How you can fix something like this? Oh, you do manually one by one, one by one. No, this is a waste of time. You fix the first one, right? The first one fixed. Then you fix the last one fixed. And then, because this and this are evenly distributed, if this is aligned with this and this is aligned with this, I can do this and say distribute vertically. Bam. Ba-da! Automatically done. Do it again. I fix the extreme one, so they are aligned. Because those two are distributed vertically perfectly. If this one is aligned with this one is aligned with this one, if I select this and I say distribute vertically, bam, they are all perfectly aligned because it's logical. So now I can see, right? I want to do something cool. I want to do this, and I want to make this comfortably modifiable. I want to make that because see, it's uneven. So how I can make all of those the same width with the largest one? I want all of those to be the same width as the largest one. How I do this? First, I align everything to the left, and then I say resize with the largest width. Boom. Do it again. They are all even because I cannot say, this, and I can do this if you want. It's the same, but I prefer to do the other side. I prefer to say left and right. Right, left, right. Left, right. Like right, left doesn't feel. You see, right, left doesn't feel good. Left, right feels good because we read from the left to the right, right? So now I have this, and I say I can do it a little bit. Visually, I can. You see how it's difficult to get this not moving like this. With the Shift key, it's not possible to modify this. It's always okay. So now I have a block well proportionate. It's a really, really nice block. Really, really nice block, right? Right? So far, so good. And I can now make something like this. I can say, I want, to put that in the area and put that in the back. That's an area. We call that an area. So I have my area like this, can even put that like this. I have my area, can move this. Now it feels good. It feels right. Before, it wasn't. Look the difference when you have verticality, alignments. You don't do something like this, you have this one like this and this one like, you say, okay, this is smaller, I'm doing this. And you don't do this. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel great. You have this. What you need to avoid is to put visual complexity in your way. Remember this, remember this. Remember the newspaper, they don't have the columns Sometimes you can have something like this, and we are going to do that right now. Let's say you have a section, you have one area divided in two. So what you do is this. You put a separator that looks like a separator, right? And you put your other thing here, right? So now you have one area with two sets. So let's say, for example, you have an area and you have two sections attached to it, related, right? So that's what you do. You don't create a separate area in that case. You do a separate area when you have a separated entity, right? So let's say you have a separated entity and you want another area, right? And you do this. But always, right? Always, let's delete this. Always you keep visual, right? Like this. So now, if we present the layouts, it looks great, right? So of course, the separation between the two here is important. You need to have enough space here to give breathing. That's how we call that, breathing, right? Same here, and you need to make sure that those are aligned on top and those are aligned on top. So how I can do this, how I can easily, let's say they are uneven. Right? And I want to make sure that this one is aligned with this one and this one aligned with this one. How I'm doing this? Very easy. First of all, you select this one and this one, you say, okay, align to the bottom, boom. Because they are the same 8, the two of them. Now you say this one and this one, I want to align on the bottom. So the two first and the last are aligned. So now you can select all of those and say distribute vertically. And you're sure that those are aligned. So how you know? So let's do the same with the labels, right? Labels. Now distribute vertically, boom. And this, how I can align this to the top of this. We don't have, if I do this, it will do this. If we move this one, I don't want to move this one. I want this one to go. Okay, we have the guides. Okay. But let's say I don't want to use the guides. What you do? You put it more down and then you say top. So do it again. When it's on top of this, when it's topping it, you make it down and you say align top. So you see, in no time, we align objects, we distribute objects, and everything is perfectly aligned to the pixel. And I had no problem, right? So I know it's a lot of, but you can see the video another time, right? So when I'm done this, now that I'm done this, okay, the alignment and everything, right? So something. So now we can see it looks great. It looks perfectly aligned. I have no problem visual. I don't have no visual problems, right? It looks cool, and we can have multiple of those, because they look like, they look like columns. They are column, remember columns, 1, 2, 3 columns, always. There always needs to be a column perfectly aligned, like this, This line here is aligned with this one. This line is aligned with this one. This line is aligned with this one. Everything is perfectly aligned, perfectly aligned. Why I know that? Because I work 4 years for this newspaper. So it's a newspaper in France. So I worked 4 years for them. I worked for them at the time in 1999 or 2000. They had a system to type article named Kodak, made by Kodak ATEX. Okay, ATEX software. So it was, it was a ATEX. It was from the 70s, right, until the 2000s when they completely abandoned. So it was the ATEX was a software. It was a software based, with the mainframe for newspapers, right? So they had this system, very advanced systems. With the band, the tapes, stuff like this, right? And they changed it by QPS, which is Quark Publishing System. So the Quark Publishing System is based on Express, okay? So, and I teach all the people, because I was a Quark, a publishing system specialist. So, and I taught, all the journalists and all people on for 4 years how to the transition. We made the transition from Kodak to Express. And then, and so that's why I know very well their publishing and the especially the newspapers, and how to, and I learn a lot of things that I'm applying every day on FileMaker. So that's why, I want to share my experience with this. Right. So, and I'm not kidding. I'm using a lot of what I've learned in that time on the newspaper world, a lot. Verticality, alignment, and everything, right? And why it matters. So if it matters for them, why is it not mattering for us, right? We have text, that's the same thing, and we read text and we print text. So FileMaker is, that's what it's for. So FileMaker is not a photo software. It's not a sound, it's not music software. It could be, but it's a text first. The natural behavior of FileMaker is text. So now that I have this, I want to give you a trick. How I know those two are not aligned. I can tell you immediately that those two are not aligned. So I asked the question I have the question in Discord. Why I know in one glance that those two fields are not aligned? Yes. The number of the box. Yes. So we have good people there. Okay. Here, how I know that this number here, how I know they're not aligned on the top or on the bottom? They're not aligned. Why? It's because this number here is grayed out. If this is perfectly aligned, when I select those two, this is not grayed, this is not grayed, and this is not grayed. Let's say this one, they don't have the same 8. This one is grayed out. If I select this one, right, is grayed out to Y. Oh, because it's not aligned. See, yeah, but if it's perfectly aligned, right? So this is not, if I resize this one, now it is 21, right? So we can see, for example, here, they are perfectly aligned on the left, perfectly aligned on the right, and they are perfectly aligned on the width, okay? Here, they are perfectly aligned on the top, perfectly aligned on the bottom, perfectly aligned on the height, right? So that visually, that's a trick that I have. Say, okay, when I select something, if I select something like this, if I do something like this, visually, it's impossible to tell. I can tell you, but most of the people, impossible to tell that it's not aligned. So when you select this, you say, something wrong. Why? Because the left here is not aligned. So boom, if I do this, bam, now they're aligned. And the number are not grayed out. So good. So we have a question here from FM Developer. What do you recommend for a line with okay, what do you recommend for a line with the field city, state, and zip? Okay, yes. I will answer that tomorrow, if I may. But I can, no, we have time for that. But I will answer that. I will answer that question. I understand the space problem. I perfectly understand the space problem, and I'm going to answer that question. Let me check if that was something I want to talk tomorrow. If I have time today, I'm going to answer it. But first, I want to talk to you about something. But definitely I will cover it. Let's say you want to use colors, okay? Because this is a big problem. Remember this Christmas tree? This is no way. This is no. This is, you need to cross it like this and to make it red. This, you need to forget about this. You need to totally, completely forget about the colors, doing, green, yellow, and purple, and all the rainbow and rainbow unicorns. No. Well, you can't. You can't. Doesn't exist in any industry. Any software, you have colors that doesn't have a reason. So let me explain to you the coloring briefly. Okay. In the common world, okay, what does this mean to you? It means this means stop. No. Don't. Bad. Right? This means caution. Be careful. Almost. Green means good. Go. So good, go, running, past, success. Let's remove those. Stuff like this. Let's remove no here. So how we know that? So we are so educated, but it's not new. Go into your car, since the 70, 60, and you have this. The little engine icon, the little engine icon in your dashboard is never is red, is yellow. Check, right? Check. Red is you overheating, and red, you lack of gas or lack of electricity. red, in your car, and green is okay, right, left, is, you have the light on, green. So the colors have meanings. Of course, that are, traffic lights, of course. And Apple, I'm not inventing it. Look, what Apple did. They didn't even, change the color, they're the same. Red, that close, that's almost close, and it's okay, it's green. So why colors? That dangerous, that is not that much, and that is not. So when you have a choice of color, you need to make sure of what you do. So we have another one, in life, in life. We have the red and we have the blue, right? The water, that hot and that cold, right? But this one doesn't really apply for us, right? This is another, but I want to show you this. I want to explain to you what are those colors. They are what we call a function. They are a function. They tell you something. They give you an information, right? They give you an information. They tell you something. That's a function. Something that will tell you, be careful, it's okay, caution, good to go. You cannot use colors all the way, red, you cannot use red, it's prohibited. You cannot use those function color that we have, or what's the name, that we are educated with this since babies. We are educated with those colors. We have games, baby games, that educates you with those colors. So you cannot just say, oh, I want to put, I want to put all my text red. So people will say, why everything red? Everything dangerous? Everything bad? Right? That's a function. And then you have another type of colors we call expression. It's an expression, right? So let's show you an expression. Yesterday I'm going to show you multiple software of the Apple Galaxy, right? Or Chapel. So how Apple is managing, because as I said, so this is music. Yeah, change a little bit. You can see what's the expression here. What is the color of expression? So I'm asking you guys, what is the expression color here? So what do we use to express, to do something, to give some kind of diversity instead of being blunt completely? So what is the color here? I'm asking, in that software, in music, there's only one color of expression. Only one color of expression. Red, 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 red. This is the expression. Red, red. Selected, red. Expression, 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 expression. One unique color. One color on the entire software. There's no 2 billion color. We don't use the rainbow and we don't have the Christmas tree neither. One freaking color per software layout, whatever you want to call it, right? one color, all red, 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 red. There's no other color than the red color of expression. So now let's use another software, podcasts. Okay. So yeah, the French stuff. What is the expression? Purple, purple, purple. Okay. So if you go there, purple, purple, purple. Apple choose for podcast the purple, right? The purple selection, purple. For music, red. And I don't know, mail is blue, music red, podcast purple, right? So why we do this is because, so of course we can use one, and FileMaker you can use, and who is using this a lot is our friends without any taste named Microsoft. They're using that like, drug addicts. Excel is gray, is green, this purple, this blue, this red, words will be blue, right? They all have, open them right now, PC, Mac, whatever. They all have an expression color different. And blue for, so that's why I said they use that, but they don't have an expression color purple in words, and they don't have blue in Outlook, right? You can check. So expression, you have one. After that, you have different type of expression. You have the expression, right? You have different level of expression. And we have activate, deactivate. But this is not an expression. It's a function. The gray is not an expression. This gray, it is an expression. This one not. This one has a function. Activate, activate, activate. Activate. This activated. So we all have, that's not an expression. Now, the button here, it's an expression. So let's say how to use those things, First, let's say I have a button here. And I want this to be, validate. I will put an expression here. I want an expression because I want to put the attention here. What I want the people to do. I don't want the people to look for it. I want the people to immediately read and understand where is the resume button. So I put an expression there. But I didn't put an expression here because this one is less important. This one is where you have the action. Okay. This one is, I see all this, secondary. This is how you use. So let's say I want to validate and I want another button. I want a cancel button. But cancel is not that important in that, in that purpose. Cancel is not important. So I'm going to do something like this. I'll put the expression in the main button that I want to focus the attention. I want to stand out. And I want to cancel. Right? Now, this is because I want the validate to be the most, stand out. But I could very well say the exact opposites, saying that I don't want validate to be that important, but cancel is. Cancel, validate is not, but I want cancel to be the one because I want to make sure people do the things. So you use expression to put, to drive the focus of the users on what you want to be the most prominent. For example, most of the time, when you have something saying, so that's the expression, right? So that's what you mix expression and function. Sometimes you have a button that falls not only on the expression, but that falls into this category. I don't want to have something like this, right? I don't want that because you confuse people. No. This one, this one's red, right? So now you add function into your button. So you mix both. You use a function into a button. The function that says, don't stop, bad warning is red. Delete. Are you? I saw that. Are you doing this? Do you feel comfortable with this? Right? No, it's not logical. Green delete couldn't be green, right? It's logical, like Spock would have said, right? It's illogical. You can't do that. It's not Vulcan. You can't do that. So this is a sense that I want to give you about expression versus function. And I'm glad that I show you that you cannot use Christmas trees. You need to pick up your expression and your function. Now, I want to show you something because, it's on my face. Proofs that I'm saying right. Okay, request a demo. I want the people to request a demo. Of course, I want the people to buy my stuff. I'm selling something and I want the buy button to be big and flashing, right? Buy, get demo, request a demo. The request demo border is more prominent. And the get data shit, well, we don't care. But on top of this, we have two things that flash the cookies. This is flashing here. What do you want to do? Give me an answer. I want an answer. And it's important. It's red. It's important. Red is always will get your focus red. So the accept or reject, but you need to do something. And, if you want to continue, most of the time you need to pick up a selection. So you did this and boom. So now you have, see, green, 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 it's not green, 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 green. I don't see purple. I don't see red. So here, okay, it's their expression. They want to, but it's not red. It's not red, bloody red. It's fuchsia, okay? But you understand what I mean. Green, green, the green is green, 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 green. That is their expression. The green is the most prominent expression into the layouts, right? Of course, you can have variants. You can have, style if you want, but you cannot use every single button a different color, every single object a different color. You cannot do that, right? Otherwise, it will look like very, very bad, But I want to show you this. So if we have question, if we don't,
I think we're good. We should
we're good.
begin
Okay.
winding the thing. Now, this is awesome, Nick. Thank you very much. We look
Okay.
forward to having another one, day 3 of this tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow we going to terminate this, finish this, and so I'm going to talk more about verticality. I'm going to answer the question about the address because it's a good one and will help me to explore the different way to arrange things like this. And of course, we're going to talk about the concept of neumorphism and why we use that, right? I think for beginners to understand why we use that style, right? Why is it important? And so that tomorrow. And but today was good.
Yes, absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!